नमस्कार। रसोई के रहस्य के फेस्टिवल्स ऑफ इंडिया में आपका एक बार फिर से स्वागत है। दशहरा खत्म हुआ, उसके बाद आई दिवाली। बहुत बेसब्री से इंतजार होता है सबको दिवाली का। तो इस दीपों की माला को लेकर आपके साथ मैं खुद आई हूँ आज कुछ यादें संजोने और कुछ रिसर्च करी हुई बातें आपके साथ साझा करने के लिए।
रसोई के रहस्य आओ मिलकर खोले हम, रसोई के रहस्य आओ मिलकर खोले हम।
Diwali or Deepavali, as it's also known, is perhaps the most celebrated festival in the country and, of course, across the globe now, wherever there are Indians, or in fact, even in many international locations. For instance, the White House also celebrates Diwali. The ceremonial lamp is lit and, it's a symbolic dispelling of darkness and the welcoming of peace and prosperity. Now, Diwali is celebrated to welcome Goddess Lakshmi. She's the goddess who's worshipped during this festival, and she's the goddess of wealth. Various ways she's worshipped, and there are days that are, before Diwali and after Diwali that are also celebrated. So essentially, it is a 5-day festival that is celebrated in different forms with different traditions in communities across India. I'm going to share with you small bits of information that I've gathered from other sources and some of my own experiences and conversations that I've had with friends and others who celebrate the festival differently from how I do. Now, to begin with, the chronology of this festival is from the 13th day of the waning moon and goes on to the second day of the waxing moon. So that is 13th day, 14th day, the no moon day, the first day and the second day. So this is how it goes. Its 13th day is called the Teras, which is also celebrated as Dhanteras. 14th day is celebrated as Choti Diwali, which is, the oncoming of the festival, and is also called Chaturdashi. Now, there are various ways this Chaturdashi is celebrated. It's also called Narak Chaturdashi. The no moon day or the Amavasya is the day of Diwali itself. The next day, many communities celebrate as the New Year. That's the Ekam. And the Dooj, which is the second day, is also celebrated very, very grandly in a lot of communities, where brothers are basically invited to the homes of sisters and they do a tilak on the brother's forehead to pray for their safety and well-being. It's a very beautiful sentiment, and it is, a community celebration that brings together people from far and wide. In fact, it's something that transcends communities because everybody wishes everybody. You don't have to be someone who celebrates the festival to go to someone's home and wish them, light a lamp in your home. So Deepavali is celebrated by lighting of little earthen lamps or diyas as they're called, or candles. Nowadays people use tea lights and all sorts of things. There are electrical lights, and basically to brighten, liven up your homes with lights to show the way to Goddess Lakshmi and prosperity to come into your homes. I'll try and do a run through of how it's celebrated in various regions of the country with, few examples here and there. I'm going to abstain from using the actual Hindi or Sanskrit words to describe certain things because I might make a mistake in saying them right. So that's a disclaimer for all your listeners out there. In the north of the country, Diwali is celebrated as the homecoming of Lord Rama from 14 years of exile with his wife Sita and his brother Lakshman. This is celebrated with so much fervor and so much joy because he was the benevolent king who was sent into exile, and Ramayana, has given the description of this entire episode, and it's one of the most read epics of all times. Since his return falls on the 15th day, which is the Amavasya or the no moon day, everybody in Ayodhya, where he had ruled, which is today a part of Uttar Pradesh in India, people lit hundreds of lamps so that they could light his way into the city. And with joyous shouting and praying and praises, they burst crackers to welcome him home. Most of these areas begin the celebration on the 13th day, which is Dhanteras. Dhanteras again is celebrated in various ways. Some people, buy gold, buy metal, precious metal, or just something in metal. And others say it is also, celebration of Dhanvantri. Now, Dhanvantri was the god of health, who's also supposed to be the father of Ayurveda. And this is celebrating him and good health and the beginning of the festival. Most people celebrate this by doing pujas in the evening. So usually there is a muhurat or a good time or a specific time out of the Hindu calendar, which is, read up, and the puja is performed on that particular day at a particular time. Mostly the business communities celebrate it in a very big way, since it is, inviting the goddess of wealth, and it is for the prosperity of the business and things like that. Then the next day is what they call the Narak Chaturdashi. Or what is Narak? Narak is hell. The idea, the symbolism here is to get rid of all the evil that is there in our lives. In our homes, there is frantic cleaning. If you know, I'm sure everybody knows how much a few days before Diwali, anybody what they're doing, and they say, I'm doing Diwali cleaning. So everyone's out there to really shine their homes, bring in new linens, bring beautiful decorations and things like that in their homes, so that it's like new beginnings. So that's the reason why Narak Chaturdashi is the day when people actually throw out all that is dirty in the house, everything that is old, and bring in the new. It is also symbolic with giving up your ego and becoming humble and pure. Some people start also with bursting of crackers on Choti Diwali. A lot of homes like mine, we start lighting 2 or 4 lamps outside our house, diyas, on the Dhanteras day itself. So on the 13th day, right through to the Bhai Dooj, we light lamps outside our house. So the 14th day also, which is Choti Diwali, little lamps are lit and people start celebrating. People start visiting each other. Some of them go beforehand to, distribute sweets and meet people, because the day of Diwali, everybody is generally busy in their own homes. On the day of Diwali itself, begins with a lot of, hectic activity around the house. In my own home, we do a lot of decorating of the little temple that we have at home with marigold flowers. Now, marigold flowers are also common to this particular season. So you have a lot of abundance of beautiful golden marigold flowers that we bring, and we make them into garlands and adorn the doors with, some mango leaves behind it. And in the temple as well, there are marigold flowers that are put. A lot of little rangolis outside our homes, colors of little powders that make little designs. And the idea is to just adorn it to welcome abundance and prosperity and goodwill. The morning goes in that. There's, of course, buying a lot of sweets and fruit and various things that are put together for the puja that happens in the evening. Again, once more to the muhurat. Now, in the evening, there is also something distinctive that we do. We bring these little sugar toys and something that is like puffed rice. It's one stage just before puffed rice, which is what we call kheer batase. Now, that is also part of the puja. So now let me tell you, in my own house, my puja plate, there are 2-3 different elements to this. One is the offering or the prasad, which usually has 5 kinds of fruit, 5 pieces of mithai of some kind, that is sweet meats of all kinds. Then there is another small little offering of this kheer batase, which is sugar toys and the puffed rice. Then there is this little bowl with milk in it. It's not milk, actually, it's what is called charnamrit. Okay. Now this is also comprised of 5 different elements. There's raw milk, there's a few drops of ghee, there's honey, there's curd, and there's the tulsi leaf. All of these are mixed together, and in it is slipped something in gold, a ring, a bangle, or whatever, as an offering. Maybe we expect it to sort of, increase exponentially, or hope that it would, so you're basically offering your precious jewels as an offering to the goddess. That is the next element that we have. And the last element, but not the least, is the lamp that we light. It's a large diya filled with oil and with a large wick that is lit at the time of the puja and left to light until the next day, till it burns out on its own. So that is called the Akhand Diya, which means it lights right through the night. It's quite a sight to behold, and it's such a feeling of, joy and peace to sit with the entire family. The puja is usually conducted by the eldest member of the family. It could be my mother, it could be my father, and an aarti is done. We sing the aarti of Goddess Lakshmi and the universal aarti, which is Om Jai Jagadisha Hare. We sing that, and at the end of it all of us bow at the temple. Then my father comes around with applying tilak. So we have basically, vermilion, which is mixed with a little water and some rice, raw rice. That is put as tilak on everybody's forehead. And the Raksha Sutra or the Moli, once again, the thread that's tied on the hand. And of course, not to forget, my father gives us all money. It's goodies. It's great. It's a fabulous time with family. And we used to have lots of friends who used to drop in. So people come and go. There's always food and all of this. So it's a very, very beautiful feeling. It's a fully joyous occasion and makes us really, really, feel so indebted and grateful for all that we have. This is about Diwali in my home. Next day, for us, we don't do anything much, but for business families, a lot of business establishments on the next day, it's the Govardhan Puja. They call it the Govardhan Puja, which is also called Annakut. It's a special preparation of, I think, 31 different kinds of vegetables and leaves that are put together in sabzis made out of it. And the Bhai Dooj, of course, then we also have this thing of inviting the brothers and doing a tilak for them. And, of course, gifts are exchanged right through this. Now, this was the north. In the west of the country, which primarily, if you look at it, it's also a hub for business. So there's Gujarat and Maharashtra that I know of, which celebrate it in a very, very big way. Rajasthan as well. The Marwadi community also is extremely, vibrant, and they do a lot of different kinds of rituals themselves. Now, all of them have basically the same thing, but with a few rituals here and there that differ in each of them. So in Rajasthan, I remember a Marwadi friend, telling me that they, on the 14th day, they, have a bath in what's it called, besan, or that is gram flour, and oil that is mixed, and your bodies are cleansed with it. So again, this is a cleansing of the body. And they light a particular kind, they light a lamp with made out of wheat flour dough, and light it, and then it is left to light through the night on, so any of these, what's it called, near the taps in the balcony or something like that. And they have a few other things that they do, because as a business community, and their pujas usually happen in the middle of the night. Then in Gujarat, of course, that it is Dhanteras is celebrated in a very, very big way with, all the establishments doing pujas and havans. I was reading somewhere which said that, they light the Akhand Jyot, which is again the diya that lights all through the night, and the women take the soot out of it the next day after the diya has burnt out. They take the soot out of there and wear it in their eyes like kajal or kohl. It's supposed to, bring prosperity, and a lot of puja is done. I was also told that on the 14th day or the Chaturdashi, people prepare a specific kind of, food, which is then taken to a crossroad and left over there. Again, symbolizing giving up your ego and taking out anything that is evil in the house. Diwali is celebrated with a great deal of fervor and a lot of joy, with a lot of song and dance and lots of food, lots of sweets. Ekam over there is the first day, is their new year, where people start their new books, which the Marwadis do as well. Every businessman close their ledgers and open a new ledger on a Muhurat and that particular day, and go wishing everybody. They wish each other Sal Mubarak. Bhai Dooj again for the brothers. So this is how it's celebrated in Gujarat. In Maharashtra is a little different and a little unique as well. It's quite interesting. Maharashtra begins celebrating apparently from the 12th day, where a special puja is held for a cow and her calf, apparently symbolizing the love between mother and child that is celebrated. Then on the Chaturdashi day, they also have a oil-scented bath, and everyone cleanses themselves and they have a puja. Then on the Diwali morning itself, of course, everyone, I think on the Chaturdashi, I think they have this, after this whole eating process is over, then they eat some special mithai and some special kinds of namkeen or savory items that are specific to that particular day or that particular festival. And it's a huge celebration. Diwali day, of course, everybody does Lakshmi Puja and, again, the same thing. So these apparently are the 4 important days for Maharashtra. And both Gujarat and Maharashtra, as in other regions, rangolis are very important. Everybody adorns their, the outsides of their house right from the terrace, from the Dhanteras day, and decorated with lamps and things like that. So that is pretty much a common occurrence everywhere. In fact, in some homes, they also make these little footsteps with rangoli, which is welcoming Goddess Lakshmi into their homes. Moving to the east. Now, in the east, in Bengal, what happens is that Lakshmi Puja is celebrated on the 6th day after Dashera. And Diwali is, since it is a no moon night, so they celebrate it as Kali Puja. So they offer prayers to Kali Ma, and a lot of pandals and a lot of celebrations. I also know that people, fast. Some people fast on the day and only break their fast once the Kali Puja is over, which is usually at midnight, which is a regular occurrence in the Bengali communities. Every no moon night or Amavasya night, Kali Puja is held. Another unique thing that happens here apparently is that they also celebrate their ancestors. People, they sort of pray to them, and lamps are lit on large, long sticks. Jute sticks are burnt, and some of them, even in Orissa apparently, they take these large sticks and long ones, and on that they place little diyas and pray to the ancestors, and as if, showing them their heavenly abode, showing them the way, and at the same time asking them for their blessings. Lot of food, non-vegetarian food, fish, meats, various other things. Some people I know don't eat non-veg until the puja is over, and after that they partake of non-veg food. East is mostly this way. Now we move to the south. South is also extremely interesting. In the south, Tamil Nadu, to begin with, celebrates the main festival from the Chaturdashi. Their main festival is the 14th day, or the Narak Chaturdashi. So the day before that, they prepare these large urns of hot water with lemon, clean it up with lemon and scented oils and things like that, and put religious symbols on it and things like that. Next morning, they heat water in these urns and use it for a bath. They keep their new clothes ready. And new clothes is again a common phenomenon everywhere. So they keep this their new clothes ready in on a tray. So next morning, everybody has this bath. They dress up in their new clothes, offer prayers, and then eat sweets of all kinds, and then burst crackers. So it's at the crack of dawn, early in the morning, the festival begins for them on the day of the Narak Chaturdashi. I believe that there is another very unique, festival that is held on the same day. The newlywed apparently go and spend that night at the bride's maternal home. So wonderful, and family, the whole thing of family and the whole thing of celebration is just so completely a part of this whole festival, and everybody just meets everybody and everybody greets everybody. Now that was primarily about Tamil Nadu. In Karnataka, that's again unique. Now in Karnataka, they celebrate the Chaturdashi, basically, paying obeisance to Lord Krishna, who is supposed to have killed the demon Narkasur that day. And they have, an oil bath on that day itself. Basically, it is believed that Krishna washed off all the blood from his body after killing Narkasur. So everybody, is symbolically has a bath, a scented oil bath on that day. And a lot of decorations and a lot of prayers are offered. The day of the actual festival, women, offer prayers, and they also pray to King Bali, now who's supposed to be a very brave king and things like that. And they make these little forts out of cow dung, and rangoli, lamps, lights, flowers, sweets, and meeting and greeting form a part of this beautiful festival. These are the two main days in Karnataka. In Andhra and Telangana, I think I believe that they, have these little songs, these stories, folklore that is sung. They're called Hari Kathas. Hari is Krishna, in the praise of Lord Krishna and his consort Satyabhama. Now, Satyabhama, apparently, in their belief, Satyabhama is the one who's supposed to have vanquished Narakasura. And after that, the celebration begins. I was also told that, like what Andhra does in Dashera, during Dashera, which they basically have, these collection of dolls, or the Bommala Kolubu as it's called, in their homes. In Telangana, it is done on the day of Diwali. So here, once again, the festival is pretty much carried on the same way as everybody else does. So I think there essentially is the 14th day and the day of Diwali, which is celebrated. There is a lot of piety, a lot of love, a lot of devotion, and a lot of reverence that has made this festival so beautiful and so all-encompassing. I think there's nothing more joyous for an Indian than to celebrate this festival with everybody they love. I hope this information has been interesting, because I loved researching and reading about it and sharing my own memories of the festival. And I'm sure everybody who celebrates this festival is going to remember why it's celebrated, which is essentially giving up your egos, cleansing your hearts and souls, opening your homes, not just to let in prosperity, but to let in peace and joy and companionship, and a lot of people celebrating victory of good over evil. Wishing all of you season's greetings, and I hope Diwali is going to be special and wonderful for all of you. रसोई के रहस्य की ये बहुत ही दिलचस्प कहानी मैंने सुनाई इकट्ठा कर करके थोड़ा थोड़ा, और मुझे उम्मीद है आप सबको पसंद आई होगी। साल खत्म होने को आ रहा है, बस बचे हैं 1 या 2 और त्योहार। सुनते रहिए और जुड़े रहिए मेरे साथ रसोई के रहस्य पर। नमस्कार।